Hey, everybody out there. So, today I want to talk about something that just happened, and you might have seen it in some of the news. It's this thing about the woman that was killed by a grizzly bear. And, I kind of already talk about some of these big issues that relate to our lifestyle and our, what we care about here on the channel, which obviously, we do travel and live off grid. But a big part of our lifestyle is caring about what happens to our natural world. Part of the big reason why we live the way we do. So I want to start talking more about these issues here with you guys. And yeah, you guys know how I am. I ramble anyway, so it's not really new. But the biggest thing that I want to just put out there is with this news headline. Okay, it's not. In some ways, it's not new. This is a story that's happened before. Somebody gets killed by, say, some wildlife character, which this is a lot of times this is a grizzly bear thing, because grizzlies, the image of the big grizzly bear with the big teeth is the scary image. But this happens for other animals too. But it becomes a really big news headline, and it just gets spread all over the place. And everybody gets kind of worked up, scared, and really like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. It's terrible. Well, I'm not saying it's not terrible for the person that it happened to or their family, but it's not terrible in the sense that bears are something that we have to fear, and that they're going around and trying to just, hunt people down and kill them. There's probably, and there almost always is, a lot more to the story than we get from the initial headlines. In the initial headlines, we don't even have the backstory, and there's been plenty. There was one where a man was killed by a grizzly, and it turned out he was field dressing an elk. So, it's circumstantial, and it's not really like big mean bears going out looking for people to kill. And we have to take into account how many human bear interactions there really are. Just in the U.S. or in North America, there's a lot of human bear crossings, and that's with not even that many bears left. And those people aren't constantly being picked off. So this is just more of a word of caution for the news headlines that end up coming out. And the problem is that when headlines like this come out, there will be interest groups that will take this and use this to their advantage. There are groups out there that would like to get rid of the remaining grizzly bears and the remaining predators, carnivores, that whole group of animals. They would like to get rid of them, and a lot of that happens for wolves as well. And if you've been following, the wolves are now pretty much being annihilated in Idaho and other places. But I encourage everyone to look at a distribution map for these animals and look at their historic range versus where you can find them today. And this one image can quickly give you the picture of how little we actually have at this point. I mean, they should be grizzlies range all the way down through California, all the way into Arizona. And that wasn't that long ago. We're talking like the early 1900s. They still had a much wider range than they do now. They were almost exterminated. So we have these little pockets where these animals still remain. Again, we can talk about all of them, but for now, let's just talk about grizzlies. Actually, they're overlapping in many cases. Two of those regions are national parks, Yellowstone and Glacier. Glacier, where a lot of these stories usually, around Glacier, these stories come out. So, two of them are national parks. These are protected areas where these animals can exist without being, say, hunted or, exterminated in some other way. But when you take the parks off the map, you're looking at like really tiny little areas where these animals still exist. What's my point? My point is that because of that, we really have no excuse at this point to get all worked up and want to, eliminate the animals any further than we already have. Because we have much choice to go elsewhere. We can go places where these animals aren't. Now, does that mean that we don't run a risk of having an issue with a wild animal? Sure, of course we do. But what it means is that if we do have an issue, we have to take it as it's a chance, it's a risk that we take when we go into those regions now. It's definitely an interconnectedness notion here that I'm trying to push, and especially because there's not many left. So when we're commingling with them in these little tiny pockets, it has to be viewed as it's our choice to go there, and it is what it is. You know, unfortunately, you could die, but you could die doing a lot of other things. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like you put in a pair of shoes, you trip and fall, happen to hit your head and die, and we go, oh, we gotta outlaw shoes, kill all the shoes, or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same notion. It's not really logical to think that we should go kill all these animals just because we had one issue. There's a risk factor there, right? Okay, so some people might be thinking, yeah, of course, whatever, it doesn't, you know, sure. But it's not that simple, because I promise you, these things get really spun out of control, these news headlines, and this is my fear, and it gets used to support killing campaigns against these animals. And I don't want them gone. I want them still here. We've lost enough as it is. The birds plummeting, the insects plummeting. We've sprayed chemicals, pesticides everywhere. We've gone on literally government-supported campaigns in the earlier years to kill these things off. And we're still, you would think we were over that, we're still trying to kill them off. So this will get, you know, it'll get some speed and it'll get used in those areas. And it already works, because from the stories I read, they do this every time. They're going to go on and kill the bear. But a lot of times what that means in a weird way is kill a bear. Trust me, that has happened, where they just kill a bear. Because that makes everybody good now. But even killing the bear, you know, it's flawed logic. Think about how many animals humans kill every year. Think about how many bears get killed by humans every year in various ways. Directly, hunting, on railroad tracks, indiscriminately by things that we put out. So, you know, it's not like, following that logic would be that every time an animal gets killed by a human, we have to go either kill that human or kill a human. Can you imagine? I mean, nobody would go for that. But it's the same exact logic. So if we say, well, it's okay to do that to them, they just can't do that to us, then, yeah, that's not very interconnected. That's kind of species superiority, like, we deserve life, but they don't. And then if you take it a step further and you think about it, the bears, or all these animals, are doing things out of, you know, it's a reaction. It's not, they're not like trying to hunt down a human, and they're not cognitively thinking about how they want to go destroy a human and they want to torture them. But if you flip that, we humans, we do have that cognitive level to be able to think about what we're doing and go, oh, that's sad, but that doesn't mean we should kill off all the animals. We have that. Will we use it? I don't know. But, you know, we should be looking at it as we've killed so many things off that now is not the time to go running out and, you know, supporting killing off more. And even sharing a story, even like me sharing this, could be in a weird way supportive, because I'm bringing light to the story. But because I'm seeing it in the news and it becomes this mainstream headline, bear kills someone again, I want to make sure that we're also at this time thinking defensively and going, okay, that's sad in that particular, but this is circumstantial, and that doesn't mean that it's okay to kill off all the bears, all the wolves, all the bees. You know, it just gets expanded. So that's all. I wanted to bring some light to that issue and start, like I said, talking about these things that really matter. We've got a lot of big issues that are really important right now, and you know, let's take it the right way and take care of our fellow kin animals, and yeah, show that we are mature as humans. So I'll leave you guys with that. Let me know what you think about this whole thing, if you've heard of it, and what your spin on it was. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.